I was questioning, like, God, why you let this happen, you know?
When I look around at what you've built here, oh my gosh, that is incredible. What would you say to somebody who is watching that has been knocked down? Hey everyone, a1000facesProject.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, you are in for a treat. If you know me already, thank you so much for following my journey and for always being here to support. Today, I have another smashing interview for you that is going to inspire you. That's what this project is all about. It's all about finding people out there who are just amazing, who have just done things that, you know, blow my mind. And I always want to bring such people to you guys so you can get inspired by what they've been through, how they've overcome, what they do, and how that can also help you. Because guess what? You count, your story counts, and I believe that you're gifted with something that you can go out to do. So please find out what it is, pray about it, go out there and achieve. So today with me, I have got an amazing woman with an amazing story. Honestly, you are going to be blown away by her. So thank you so much for joining. Hi, Melon. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Okay, so I always like the person I'm interviewing to introduce themselves, because I think you can do justice to it more than I can.
Okay, so I am Melon. I am the co-founder of the Melon Studio. I am mom to 2 kids. I homeschool them, and I have a passion for storytelling using photos. So I can say like I'm a photographer and a filmmaker, because I also like capturing motions and transferring them to like films and short documentaries.
Okay, so how did you get into that? Was that something that you always wanted to do? Was that something you did at uni, or did you just come across it?
My dream, actually, when I was younger, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a Pixar animator.
Oh, wow.
Because I love how they create stories of things, of people, and that those stories also inspire others. You know, those stories touch hearts. So that's what I was when I was a kid. So, but then in college, I was my first degree was engineering.
Okay.
Well, parents, because they, you know, engineering earns a lot of money.
Yep.
But then failed at it like on my 3rd year. Then I said, like, you know, and I had to be honest with myself. I'm into arts more, so I shifted to interior design, where I had to express, you know, and I had to be creative, and that was my degree when I graduated to college. And then I became a visual merchandiser, which was sort of related to interior design. That was my first job in UAE. So I graduated after 7 years, to my mom's frustration and my parents' frustration, because I took 7 years in college. And then, so in UAE, I only started with photography, even though my father had a Nikon camera when I was young, but I did not even dare to touch it because it was a film camera. He said it was expensive, and I'm like, yeah. So then after only in 2008, did I actually bought a camera, my first Canon camera, and that's only when I started experimenting in photography.
So the thing is, you have an amazing place here, and you know, we'll just take a quick pan of it so people can see. How have you been able to build this? Because I know that it comes with a story behind it. So can you share a bit of that story with us?
Amazing. Okay, so it's a very long journey that I'm so happy to share. It's actually, number one, it's trusting God that He has a really great plan for you, and not underestimating where God has put you in, you know. So back in 2009, well, let's go back, 2008, well, I met my husband here. Okay, so you'll be like, what's the connection? Okay, so I met my husband here in Dubai, so Irish. When we got married in the Philippines, our wedding photos were not that great. So they were okay, aesthetically, like they had lights and it, like flying veil and all that, and looking at the sky with the bouquet, but it lacked the story. I attended this workshop by Cliff Maltner. He's a Hollywood wedding photographer. He started with photojournalism. He's a photojournalist in a newspaper. Then he became a wedding photojournalist. And I said, when I saw his photos and his work, I said, like, these are the kind of photos that I would have wanted for my wedding. I would have wanted real smiles. I would have not minded the mess. Like if they had captured how messy our house was, if that we're not really, to show that we're not really well off, we're not rich, and just to show that realness in the photo. So I miss that. So what we did is when one of our friends got married, we took the photos, the wedding photos, and they like the photos. And I like writing. Like I said, I like writing, creating stories, writing stories. So I asked my husband, can you set up a blog for me so I can put my stories out there. So then I like now I have photography, so I'm putting photos and the stories behind it, and people saw it. So then another friend got married, I shared that there. Even my daily stuff, I shared that there. And then a couple based in Dubai, they're an Indian couple, they saw our work. They said, like, we love how real your photos are and how the stories you tell. So we would like to book you for our wedding in India. Wow. This was in 2009. Right. So they flew us. So I was like, it blew my mind. It's unbelievable, so before that, I rewind a little bit. Before, in that same year, 2009, we wanted, the entrepreneur in me said, like, we wanted to open a business. So we had this opportunity to open a restaurant and a home furnishing, which was related to my degree. We had that opportunity to open that in the mall that was being built. So that time. And so that time also in 2009, early 2000, the banks were giving away money, even if your salary was decided, you can have we were able to secure a loan worth 250,000 each. So that, a bit more than 500,000 plus our original savings. So we had like about 600,000 in our pockets from the bank and some little savings. So I said, like, oh, great, let's open a restaurant and home furnishing. So we paid the space, booked the space. I said, like, it's going to open early 2010, late 2009. So I was living I used to bed space, I rent a bed space. She was my landlord. So I kind of knew her, and I know her for being, she was an accountant. She knows a lot about money. So she said, like, hey, I heard that you're going to open a restaurant, I want to be your partners. And but I said, like, oh, that's great, sounds great. So I said, like, it would be good for someone to, I've known her for more than a couple of years. I've known her, where her family, where her kids go to school, where her husband goes to work. So I pretty much know about a lot about them. So I said, like, it would be a good asset. They signed some contracts, I gave them the money, because she said, like, let's keep the money. I'll give you, because since the space is not ready, what I'll do is I'll keep the money. I'll give you 3% monthly, because she said, like, I have another business that I can, use it just to, to turn things around, and then whatever profit I have, I'll give you, which is about 3% of what you're going to give me. So I said, that's good, because I said, like, that loan, we were paying about 13,000 something monthly. Even our combined salaries, me and my husband, was not even enough to pay that loan. But because our hopes were on the business to, like, for us to get out of the rat race, have our own thing, be entrepreneurs and all that. So she said, like, okay, sure, here's the money. And she gave us some checks and then we, but after 3 months, I said, like, my mom called me and she said, like, I need she has something, a cyst in the ovary, and she said like, I need an operation, and we don't have money. I said like, okay, don't worry about it. I'll call and withdraw some money. I have some money that's, lying around, not lying around, but
Yes.
in someone's. So I said, I called my landlady, my old landlady, gave her a call. She did not pick up. And then that made me worry. And then I messaged her, and she said like, actually she replied to my first couple. I said like, oh, okay, give me a couple of weeks. That couple of weeks turned into 3 weeks. And I said like, my mom needs an operation ASAP, like, and then when I called her once, she's like, her phone was already off. So then I decided to come visit in her home, because this time I was already, of course, shifted out. We have our apartment, and I went to her home. It's all locked. Called her office. I knew where she worked. They said that's where it like crashed on me. She already went a wall for more than 2 weeks already, and I'm like,
Wow.
so I'm like,
Wow.
I tried to some of the checks did not have dates, so I put dates and tried to encash them. They all bounced.
Oh my God.
So called where her husband works in a big company, called that too. Gone. The kids, even although the schools were not allowed to give information, I said like, but this is very important. They said they're also like gone. So that was a frustrating time for us.
How much did she walk away with at the moment?
About 660,000, because
Goodness.
60,000 was an investment of my colleague.
Wow. So she went away with 660,000. Right. How? I can't comprehend.
I know.
I really can't, because
cannot.
I'm just trying to imagine if that was me. I think I'll crash, and then I'll crash some more, then I'll burn, then I'll crash. How were you able to carry on from there?
All right, so it was like, there was like maybe stages of it. Of course, someone was like denial. Like I kept calling and like, no. And then I was like emailing. At the first few emails, she would still reply. She said like, I'll pay you back one day. I'm just in a difficult time. I said like, no, I'm just in a difficult time. My mom needs operation, and then I need to pay the bank. I need to have like, our salaries are not even enough to pay 13,000 monthly plus our expenses. Where will I get, the money? And then she, and then after that, she ghosted, no replies at all. It was like, it's like you're in a corner. It's the only way out is the negative, like, escaping, which is not the right way out. So when you're like down to your knees, the only place you can look is up. And so when I felt angry, I felt sad, I felt depressed, but like that's when you feel God's presence the most. So what comforted me is prayer and reading God's word and diving into God's word. I kept a Bible because it was like anxiety for me, and my mom was like, she whenever she converts it to pesos, I'm like, that's almost, that she's saying like, that's almost 10 million pesos. I'm like, what?
It's a lot of money. Over 600,000.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh, I was like, where is she? I don't know. And then I said like, so I have the Bible with me. I kept reading Psalms, but I felt thankful when I read Psalms. I felt thankful because David even had like his life threatened. I don't have my life threatened. I'm not dying. It's just that I lost a ton of money that I need to pay in 5 years.
Yes. Wow.
So and then what we did was we only had photography. So we had our full-time jobs, which we're thankful because we did not get fired from. And then what we did is people were calling us. So I said like, this wedding that we had, I posted it. People were calling us for portraits, for some birthdays, for small shoots. So this was helping us pay the loan. Like sometimes we don't have a check for our home, for the rent. We'll get a project that is enough to pay that quarter of that exact amount. So God is really good. That I saw God's power and how God's love, provision, like you know how those footprints in the sand when you cannot even walk, you know, he'll just lift you up. So that's where I saw God moved and how God provided through through those years. Even the year after, 2000, early 2010, around March, I found out I was pregnant. I was like,
wow.
oh my goodness. I'm like, oh my goodness. So here we are, paying off a loan with no enough salary, but we do have like, and then we did not, that time maternity insurance was not even like mandatory. So I'm like, oh, you know, like,
Wow.
but you know, like, you see, God provided still. Imagine, we were able to borrow money. The dear brother lent us money, said like, you can, you know, pay for it later in installments, but you need to have your maternity secured and all that. So like, you know, how God showed ways that you would think, where you think it's impossible. And then we were able to pay the loan after 5 years.
Wow, you paid over 600,000
Yes.
within 5 years.
Yes.
Wow, that is a miracle story. Like,
Yeah.
how do you think that you would have been able to pull through without that connection with God?
I don't think there were even days that I could not even stir a coffee because I was just staring at a blank space, you know, like, but you know, God said like, focus on me and I'll deal with it, you know, and then, but it's a partnership. God doesn't want you to just sit and then wait for money to rain on you. So he said like, he showed us ways where we can, you know, fulfill his purpose. He showed us ways to be a real testament to him, for him, you know, like whenever I read in the Bible, you know, Moses was like, you know, like lifting the staff, you know, God can actually have the war won without him having to, but it's a partnership, you know, and you know, there's a lot of things that you will see, like, God can just easily make things happen, but he wants to partner with us. He wants to use us as instruments. So I realized, you know, it's not also an instant realization. It's a day-to-day realization that you grow closer to him. So there are times like there were even, you know, in the beginning, I would have questioned. I was questioning, like, God, why you let this happen? You know, like, why you let that happen? We were not even, you know, we're not doing anything illegal, you know, and
I mean, that's an incredible story, because even though you, I'm really trying to fathom, like, over 600,000. That's a lot of money. But when I look around at what you've built here, oh my gosh, that is incredible. Absolutely incredible that you were able to overcome that and build what you have now. And it continues to get better. What would you say to somebody who is watching that has been knocked down and they feel like, well, this is the end. You know, they're stirring that coffee or tea that you said, and they're just like, yeah, this is the end. What advice can you give to them from your heart?
I think the best advice is, you know, for me, based on the journey that I have gone through, is just keep trusting God and having faith. Do not confine God and think that God can only do small things for you, because God can use you for bigger things. God is so big and you cannot imagine what he can do through you, you know, if you let him. I know you might say like, oh, it's so hard. It's so easy for you to say it because you're now in that kind of position. Well, in 2020, I'll just say this. So 2020 was when the pandemic came, and March, we were really very hopeful. You know, again, same situation. We were hopeful we're going to build a business. 2020 was hopeful. Expo 2020, we have a lot of projects down the pipeline, and then bam, you know, like pandemic came, and then all our projects have been canceled. A lot of them asked for a refund when some of them who paid down payment, and then I'm like, we're stuck with the warehouse. This is the warehouse that I signed the contract for a 5-year lease on this warehouse. And then because we were so hopeful and we were like so positive, the year was like looking really bright. And then now I'm stuck here, no furnishings, no walls, nothing, no AC. So, and then my team, I have like a 14 team member. Where will I get the salaries to pay them where all our projects are canceled? And it did not seem to be like March 15 was our last event. And then after that, we were 0, 0, 0, 0.
Wow.
Like, but if the one before that did not happen, like the one in 2009 did not happen, I would have again, I would have also fallen down, given up, and, got into a depressing state. But this time I knew that we will pull through. I had a stronger faith that no matter what, God is enough. And even if he doesn't pull us through this time, I have seen his power in my lifetime. And I think that enough for me is enough for me to tell everyone. Even if we don't have this, if we don't succeed, I've seen what he can do. And for me, sharing that testimony is already a blessing. It's an opportunity for me to see how and what he can do with your life. So, I mean, these are just extras. And when God blesses you, and when he blessed me with this, what's happening right now with all these blessings and issues, I said, like, it's not for me to like be, just, of course, it's for me to enjoy his blessings and feel his presence and all, but it's for me to bless others.
Right.
So I have to pay it forward because that's how he blesses you, so you can be a blessing to others.
So I know that you have some dreams. You have some big dreams. Can you tell the people what those dreams are? Because you've achieved so much, but then it's not. I mean, I feel like with you, it's just the beginning. There's still so much that you want to accomplish. So can you share some of those with us?
As a Christian, as a follower of Christ, you should be humble. You should, but I feel that sometimes we're limiting ourselves to like small things, like, oh, we should, but so God can and will do more things that you can imagine, like I said. So we can dream bigger and we can achieve more things. So that's, for me, I have a lot of like, I want the company to grow bigger. Not because I want glory for myself, but because I want to give more jobs, and I want to, we want to expand in different countries, so then people can have more jobs and opportunities to work in a company that is Christ-centered, faith-centered. So that's one of my dreams. I want to write a book, and I want to speak on TED Talk.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
So those are like some stuff for me. But I said, like, yeah, don't live. I know I'm not a celebrity. I don't look good, and I like this. I'm not articulate. So why I did not have a higher degree of education. Why would someone ask me to speak on TED Talk? But but don't limit yourself.
Possible.
Exactly. Anything's possible.
Yes. I think if you believe so much in yourself, I've had to learn that today as well. Like, if you believe, you have to value what you have, especially if you know that it's God-given.
Yes.
I mean, he will use you. Like in the Bible, is it Moses was a stutterer, right? Is it Moses? And then Aaron had to speak on his behalf. But God
yes.
But God still used him, to do that. So there's nothing. Is there anything so impossible for him? No, there isn't. And I also know you want to be a Canon ambassador, don't you?
Yes, I know. I was like, I missed that opportunity though, because I was in the Philippines, and then they had the workshop for Canon here, and then I missed it. But I said, like, again, like, God will find a way. If it's meant for you, if that's God's will, it will happen. But yes, you have to also put in the hard work, talk to God, be in partnership with him. What should you do? Ask God to give you wisdom to find the people that will help you achieve your dreams and all this. So it's a constant partnership. It's not like, okay, God, I want this. God's not a genie. It's more of like it's a partnership.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So if you're out there, come on, you can do this. I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that Melon had to pay over 600,000 back. She did. And then she had to overcome COVID. She did. And then she's built, I mean, like I said, we'll show you, what the expanse of this place. It's absolutely amazing what, Melon has built with the help of, partnership with God. I think that's really, really important.
Yeah,
to have that partnership, yes.
I believe that I'm just a steward and God is the owner of this business. He built it from scratch, from zero. I think that was maybe also, I feel that that's a reason also that he showed me that his plan was different. It's not a restaurant. It's not your dream. It's my dream. And this is his business and I'm just a steward. I'm his assistant in this.
Wow. So honestly, I'll say to you, partner with God first. Don't go looking for man first, because man can only help you to a certain degree. God can help you all the way through. So I really like that. And this is I feel so blessed today because this is my second interview. And the first one was, find a mentor was what I learned. Find someone that can mentor you. And now partner with God. I mean, I think those two things are I'll have to, sit down and just really think about that and see where that can take me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
For hanging with 1,000 Faces. I mean, that's why I love what I do. There's so many amazing people with amazing stories out there. We walk by them every day. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know if they could be the one to open the door for you. Like, you want to give people jobs. You never know. Connection is good. We have to get out there. We have to connect. We have to inspire. We have to let people know that, hey, I'm here for you. So thank you so much. Thank you. I feel really blessed. And how can the people reach you if they wanted to, for you to capture their weddings, birthdays, portraits, and all of that? How can they get reach you?
We have a couple of websites. I'll promote them. It's www.melrish.com. We have also a YouTube channel. We have Instagram @Melrish, Instagram @Melrish Weddings. We also do print photo books here. So we do have a lot of verticals. So if you at Everlast, follow them on Instagram. And we have an office in the Philippines too. Stories by Melrish PH.
Amazing. So I know when I'm getting married, I know who I'm coming to cover my wedding.
Of course.
And who knows, maybe we'll be at the Maldives,
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And please do get in contact. They are amazing, as you can see. She's very down to earth, very warm, very welcoming. They will make your day. They will make your day special. So thank you so much. Subscribe. I have hoodies coming out soon. Please do go out, buy them, push them out. This is a community I'm trying to grow, a community of inspiring people, a community of stories, a community of just good vibes, So please do share this video if it's inspired you, and whatever you're doing, go out there, get it done. Thank you so much for staying with us, spending time with us, and enjoy your day. Bye.
Bye.